the wicked in 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41 on down, Antiochus, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, is telling the children of Israel, right, created mischief by a law. And what is he doing? Telling them to what? Leave their children uncircumcised, forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice drink offerings, set up altars and groves, pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, right? To end the, it says what? That they should leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. These are the reasons that Cain was upset with Abel, where he slew his brother, right? The unrighteous perished in that deed, as it says in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10. They perished because he perished because he killed his brother, man. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, it says what? But when the unrighteous, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10 verse 3, but when the unrighteous went away from her in his anger, he perished also in the fury wherewith he murdered his brother. For whose cause the earth being drowned with the flood, wisdom again preserved it and directed the course of the righteous, and a piece of wood of small value. Said, moreover, the nations in their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous and preserved him blameless unto Yahweh, and kept him strong against his tender compassion toward his son. So guess what? Let's go to verse 6. When the unrighteous, it says, when the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man who fled from the fire, which fell down upon 5 cities. That's Sodom and Gomorrah. And what? Those people hated. The people of Sodom wanted to do wicked things to Lot. So guess what? The wicked, they hate. It says it in 1 Samuel chapter 2, right? In verse 17, right? It says that man hates the offering of God. So look again at 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 44 all the way up to 48. What did they cause the children of Israel to do? Turn from their laws. Created a wicked, evil law, right? Same thing Nebuchadnezzar done, right? Bow down and worship this image. Daniel said no. The Hebrew boys said no. And what happened? They were cast into the furnace. See that? To die. They hate the offerings of God. That's why, those 3 Hebrew boys presented themselves a living sacrifice unto the Most High God. You got to be ready to do the same. If you're going to walk righteously, you got to be ready to do the same. And what is the beginning of that? Fearing God, keeping his commandments, right? Hating your life unto death, man, right? It says, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Commandments was given by God, and commandments was given by wicked kings, right? Those who keep the commandments of the wicked king, they are of their father the devil, and the lust of he was a liar from the beginning, and the lust of his father they will do, as it says in the book of John chapter 8 verse 44, right? So you can't be out here sadly mistaken, right? You got to take example and understand these things, right? That the wicked, they hate those who walk in righteously, walk in the ways that the Most High God has given as example. That's why they do so much to disprove it, right? They should have just burned it up if the book didn't mean nothing. But look, it's still here. It still has force. And guess what? We walking in it. We're walking in it in these last days. We're the ones that's doing righteousness, right? It tells you that in 1 John chapter 3. I read that already, but I'm gonna keep going back to it because we gotta be connected, truly connected with the simplicity of this thing, man. It says what? It says in 1 John chapter 3, right? 1 John chapter 3 and verse 7. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous, right? And again, verse number 12, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil and his brother's was righteous. So when you walk righteously, this is why you're hated by the children of Belial. This is why you're hated, and this is why they plot on you. This is why they set snares up against you to cause you to fall, right? This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 21. And it says what? And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the place of Ahab king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house. Now, the scripture tells you what? To beware all covetousness. Beware all covetousness. In the book of Luke chapter 12. Beware of all covetousness. This is what Christ tells you. This red letter. Beware of covetousness. And what does it say in Colossians chapter 3? Right? It tells you what? Covetousness is as the sin of idolatry. Covetousness is idolatry, right? So, listen, it says, and Naboth said unto Ahab, the Lord forbid it. So this is what happened. Verse 2. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house. Now, another thing I got to point out is that our people want to speak against our people speak ill of the law of the Lord, but look at what this law says. This is why we hate and kill each other, is because it starts after our wicked desires. We steal and take from one another. We continue to walk in a way that's not good. We continue to be rich toward this world and not rich towards God, as it also goes into in Luke chapter 12. Not being rich towards Yahweh, right? What do? We forsake the law, statutes, commandments. We pay no never mind. We pay no never mind to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God, right? But we walk in paths and crooked purposes, right? Which fail us, right? And we got a degree, but we're not rich towards God. And next thing you know, we die of a heart attack, and all that money, we leave it to somebody who ain't never worked for it a day in their life. And again, that's Luke chapter 12. That's a very good book concerning our wicked desires, making our bellies our God. Nevertheless, let's keep going. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17. It says this: thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt, it says nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Why is that? Because the scripture tells you in the book of Luke, right? The book of Luke, the scripture lets you know, right? Luke chapter 12 that I kept referring to, but now I got to go ahead and pull it, right? Luke chapter 12 and verse, let's see, was it 12? See, I'm referring to it. That's the spirit that I pulled it, because now I gotta No, this was it. Luke chapter 12. And it says what? Therefore, verse 22. And he said unto the disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought. Actually, let's go up. Yeah, 22. It says, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body what ye shall put on. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Consider so the life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment, right? So guess what? Let's go down to verse 27. Consider the lilies, how they grow. Consider the lilies, how they grow, and toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If these, it says, was not arrayed like one of these. If then Yahweh so clothe the grass, which is today in the field, and grow tomorrow, it says, is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things doeth the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of Yahweh, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Right? So you shouldn't covet anything that belongs to anybody. Right? Be happy with your 4 walls, roof over your head, and food enough to eat, man. Right? This is what we should be focused on. So the scripture tells you don't covet. The law tells you. See, this is what our people are telling us to turn from. This makes us drunk with the wine of Babylon. The scripture tells us to be sober-minded, man. That's not a sober mind. When you sit up here, can never be satisfied. You get something and you looking for the next best thing, man. You never satisfied. Be satisfied with what you have. That mindset will destroy you. Beware of covetousness, man. You have to beware of covetousness. Right? It says in Luke chapter 12 and verse 14, and he said unto him, man, who made me a judge and a divider over you? And he said unto them, take heed, and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth. Your life don't consist in the things that you possess. You can have a bunch of things and die of a heart attack. You have a bunch of things and a wild bear come out and eat your ass. You see? So you worried about the wrong thing. That covetous spirit, hey, it's going to confound you. It confounds us every day. Right? You see Kobe Bryant and you see him no more. Right? It's too soon for you. Hey, you are secretly accepting persons. Right? Because he wasn't rich towards God, man. He wasn't rich towards the Most High God. He was rich in carnal things, right? In the abundance of things that he have on this world. Hey, man, those things, you can't take them with you. You can't take those things with you. But that's the thing that our people, they envy each other and kill one another and take from one another because of the things that somebody have. You see, these are the problems that we have to fix. You can't talk about the white man if you're not fixing those problems. I understand that the white man is the devil, but you have to fix those things. So the scripture tells you what? It says, and Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house. And I will give thee for it a better vineyard, that it says, than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbid it me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased, because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread. Right? So he kind of started fasting because he was covetous, man. When I was in Christian church, people would tell me, hey, you should fast for a better job. Fast for carnal things. These things I was asking for and seeking for amiss. You don't realize all these manner of things that you're trying to bring into yourself, you're trying to consume up on your own lust, as it says in James chapter 4, right? So you shouldn't have a covetous spirit, which the church is telling you. Have this covetous spirit, and that's why the wicked gives place for these wicked churches, right? Because the scripture tells you in the book of Psalms, chapter 10, that the wicked blesseth the covetous who the Lord abhorreth. The Lord abhors the covetous spirit. That's an idolatrous spirit. And what do? We kill each other, envy each other, right? Take from each other, defraud each other, lay snares for one another because of these very things, because of that very thing, covetousness, right? So the scripture tells you what? It says, continues and says what? But Jezebel his wife came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, give me thy vineyard for money, or else if it please thee, I will give thee an other vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, doest thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters unto Ahab's name, right? So she lied. She started moving subtly like a snake. Now, a lot of women, they believe that this is a good, they believe that doing for their husband things like this is good, man. Being the queen bee and whatnot. A lot of our women work a lot of wicked things, man. Moving deceitfully, right? So, this is not a good thing. This is not a down A, B. We know what we're talking about. Those inappropriate words. Down A, B. You know what I mean? Right? A lot of our women think this is a good way to be. This is not a good way to be. This is wicked. And look at what happened. It says what? But Jezebel, his wife, came in. So let's go down to 7. It says, and Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, doest thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial. Ain't that what we're talking about? The religion of the wicked, the religion of our people who worship covetousness, who envy, and who are stubborn, those who are rebellious. This is the religion of them. This is their god, Belial. And it says what? It says, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, thou hast blasphemed God and the king. Then carry him out and stone him, that he may die. Right? And the men of the cities, even the elders of the nobles, who were the inhabitants in the city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city, and stoned him with stones, that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said unto Ahab, arise and take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive but dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it. So this is the snare that was laid before Naboth, man. And this was a wicked, evil thing. It set up sons of Belial to carry out such orders, man. Right? And this is what our people do. They set snares for one another. They want to kill each other, right? They want to compete against one another, right? Because they covetous against things that they can't even take to the grave. You come into this world naked, you're going to leave naked, right? You want to see how you can go into your brother's house, take up his woman, right? You want to see how you can get one up over your brother, man, right? And consume things upon your own lust, and not look out for your people, right? Most of all, not learning and knowing the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God, and teaching these things to your brother, reproving your brother for the acts against God, man. This covetous spirit keeps us from walking in those ways, man. So these are the things that we did to our people, right? These are the things that we do unto our people. And that's why the scripture says, hey, the dogs lick the blood from his wife Jezebel, right? The dogs licked up the blood, right? So, and let's look at one more thing. Watch this. And thou, it says, now let's go to verse 17. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. And thou, it says, and thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, in this place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine. And Ahab said it to Elijah, hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered and said, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. And that's exactly what our people did. They were sold to do mischief, as it said in 1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 13, or verse 12, right? They were sold to do mischief. So this is the religion, this is the understanding that our people walk in, this is the doctrine that our people walk in, right? Which is to obey the wicked. In every way that you turn against the Most High God, you're serving Esau, the man of sin, the man of perdition. That's who you're serving, right? And that's why we didn't abide in the land, right? Because we was a servant of the wicked, right? So they took up our land, right? So again, we're serving the so-called white man in some shape, form, or fashion. When you hate your brother, kill your brother, steal, murder, kill, whatever, you get put in prison. Hey, and guess what? You do all the work of Satan. When you die, guess what? Your family is have to put you in the ground, right? Your family have to put you in the ground, pay money, put you in the ground, right? And get a death certificate, right? You hate your brother, you kill your brother, guess what? Like I said, you get put in prison, selling drugs, put in prison, right? Covetous, you have a covetous spirit. You're gonna build up Babylon with pride in your heart so that you get money to stun on your brother, right? You're gonna go to their militaries. You're gonna fight in Esau's militaries. You're gonna buy up all his stuff because you have a merry heart, right? This is the religion that our people keep, man. This is a religion, man, right? So the scripture tells you in the book of Micah, chapter 6 and verse 7, it says what? Will the Lord be pleased with 1,000 rams or with 10,000 of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has showed thee, O man, what is good. And what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God. So this is the problem, that the people that are Israel, right? The people, the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans that kick against the Most High God and that become an enemy unto the Lord, right? Guess what? The Most High God is showing you what's good, but our people, their religion is to be against the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God. Their religion is to help with the persecution of those who walk in righteousness and keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. So that's the religion of our people, is to love the licenses that the wicked has provided, right? And to remain in their master's house. right? And their strength is to sit still, right? This is what our people, the scriptures say, when he that readeth it shall, that he that readeth it will run. We got to, the prophecies of the Most High God is our strength. This is what we are supposed to be strengthened in. Because guess what? Faith is supposed to be a treasure unto us. The wicked have heaped up all things to itself, dig deep into the ground, and steal all manner of riches and resources. So what is the only thing left for us? Guess what? This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6. And it says what? It says in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 5, it says, and ere the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure, right? So there's going to be those who gather faith for a treasure, and it's talking about those men before us, and most of all in these last days, man. So you have to gather faith for a treasure. It said, the scripture tells you in the book of Matthew, and this is going to be the last one. It says in the book of Matthew, chapter 6 in verse 22, it says, let me see. Yeah, 6 and verse 22. And it says what? No. That's not what I want. Verse 19. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Right? So, hey, guess what? Hey, the treasure of those who speak righteousness is supposed to be in heaven, man. Right? Your treasure is supposed to be in heaven. You're supposed to keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God and turn to righteousness, man. Not walking in sin, not walking in folly, not walking in madness. But your treasure got to be in heaven. Your treasure shouldn't be on earth, where your brethren are covetous and envious of you, of these things, right? This is not your strength. Your strength is not the things when you circulate the white man's dollar. That is not your strength, right? Your strength is supposed to be spiritual. You're supposed to have a spiritual strength. And those things come from the Most High God. So with that, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor, right, to the Most High God, Yahweh, right, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, and Shalom, Israel.